Hey, everybody. I am Rudy. How are you? Thank you for joining us tonight. I appreciate you all being here. This is I think it's our sixth virtual IPSA meeting. We're doing these every third Wednesday of every month. And I am so happy that you guys could be here with us for this one. We're off to a good start with these. I think it's going really, really well. Somebody in the audience can correct me if I'm wrong. I see other IPSA people in there. But with that said, our agenda is, as always, educate and elevate. That's what it's been since day one. That's what it is now. That's what we're trying to do, trying to bring education that you don't get otherwise across the web at trade shows or different seminars across the country. We're trying to mix it up just a little bit to offer something a little bit different to help us boost not just work in the field, not equipment, not necessarily sales, but business acumen as a whole. That's what we're focused on here. Casey. Thank you. But I do appreciate, again, everybody being here. So, opening the official IPSA virtual meeting again, Rudy Stankiewicz. So, I want to move right into our educational session. We have with us Lacey Davis, newly appointed president of the Grit Game. She's going to tell us a little bit about herself and then roll into something I think you guys are really going to enjoy. So, with that said, Lacey, I'm going to let you take it away.
Thanks,
Everybody.
Rudy. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I love what we're about to talk about today. It's a passion of mine, and it really marries in well because I've fallen head over heels in love with the pool industry. I'm going to go over a little bit of my background, but it took me a long time to figure out that pool people really were my people, and now that we're here, there's really no looking back. As already mentioned, my name is Lacey Davis. I own two companies in the pool and spa space. I'm the president of the Grit Game, which is a sales rep group. We are nationwide. We're technically international in the USA and Canada. And I'm also the CEO of Grit Game Marketing. I was one of five women featured on this month's cover of the Pool Nation magazine as the next generation of female leaders in our industry. And I have the extreme honor of being nominated for the Pool Nation's Woman Trailblazer of the Year at this year's event. And as you can tell, I am really into my pink blazer. So I have a wildly eclectic background from public speaking in Ireland for an anti-human trafficking nonprofit to being a cruise director to contracting events at Walt Disney World and several other equally cool careers. But my time in the pool industry is what we're here for. And my first job in the industry was to be a writer for an e-commerce driven pool company. They did retail, they did installs, the works, you named it. And about 9 months, I spent 9 months creating content that achieved an organic reach equivalent to over $500,000 in paid advertisement. So, for those of you newer to marketing lingo, organic traffic is when your customers find you naturally, usually for free on your end. And paid ads is when you pay to have an advertisement bring those online clicks to you. So, whenever you see a sponsored post, those are paid ads. So, again, we created content that achieved organic free reach that was equivalent to $500,000 that my company would have paid in spend additure. That job didn't work out. And before I really stepped into my role here at the Grit Game, I spent another 9 months being a digital content creator, where I grew my personal social media platforms to over 500,000 followers. I got to test and adjust a lot of theories and ideas that we now pull into our business. So 9 months seems to be my sweet spot. Some women build babies. I build online traffic in that time frame. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about today, how you can utilize social media to make a difference in your online business or on your business as a local business. Doesn't have to be online. Just if you're local, why does social media matter? And here's the real question that you should be asking yourself when you ask that. When was the last time you checked a social media platform today? Or maybe scrolled through Facebook or Instagram, watched a quick TikTok video and you looked up and 20 minutes had gone by. Even if you didn't, the fact of the matter is that's exactly where your customers are spending time. They're online right now. Some of them are looking for the services you offer even as we speak. So here's the reality. In today's world, if your business isn't showing up on social media, you're already following behind. Social media gives local businesses like yours a massive growth opportunity, especially when it comes to reaching homeowners and pool enthusiasts. And so businesses that will embrace social media are more immediately visible, and they're able to build a rapport with people shopping for their services and ultimately win more business because they can be found by people looking for them. And here's why. 54% of consumers use social media to research your products. They research services before making a purchase. This means that if your business isn't on social media, you're missing out on the potential customers who are actively looking for what you have to offer. 71% of consumers who have a positive experience with a brand on social media are likely to recommend it to others. So social media builds word of mouth marketing, which is really the bread and butter of a lot of local businesses. Facebook ads alone are seen by over 2.9 billion monthly active users. And even without paid ads, having an active presence on social media on Facebook puts your business in front of a massive audience. So for the sake of this presentation, we'll stay in the realm of Facebook and Instagram since most businesses have one or both of those. Facebook versus Instagram. If you want to get the most out of them, you need to understand the value that each of them brings individually. Facebook, for example, is really great for building a community, sharing your promotions, maybe a sale that you have going on in store, and customer testimonials, where Instagram is extremely visual focused. So this is where
Lacey,
you want to showcase, sir.
I don't want to throw you off, but there's a pop-up in the middle of the screen, and I think
Oh,
that's what everybody's seeing. It says audience window.
boop.
There you go. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. You're good. I think I lost it now. Hang on, let me pull it back up for you. Got it.
Here
Are
we
we
have the
back
pop-up.
on?
We have the pop-up
Pop-ups
again.
back.
Yes.
Dude. Okay, fixed. Does that look better, guys? Pop-up going?
Yes, looks good.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Help me. Okay, so Facebook, we said, great for building that community. Instagram's super visually focused. It's ideal for showcasing those really beautiful completed projects, a before and after shot, and again, customer stories. Really bread and butter, customer stories, customer testimonials. Share those at any chance that you possibly get. So there's different types of content. There's static posts, which are like photos and text and these are a solid foundation for your social media strategy. This is, you have a well-written caption to go with these. But while static posts are great, they only take you so far. However, 93% of social media marketers say that video content is essential for gaining new customers. What's more important is that videos posted on your social media, these are called Reels, get pushed out to both your existing followers and your non-followers. So to drive this point further home, this is one of our social medias. These top 3 are stagnant posts. The first one has a view of 196 views. 196 people have seen this post. Whether they interacted with it or not, they've seen it. The next post, 110 views, and then this little product review here got 111 views. These over here are my reels. And at the very bottom of a reel, you can see how many times they've been viewed. This first one, 5,700. The second one, 2,700. And this third one is at 1.4 million views. So that's the difference that video content can make as far as the reach and how you can get your product and services out in front of more people. A few examples of some simple but really effective videos you can start posting. A time-lapse pool installation. This is an option on most phones now. You can have a time-lapse video. People love watching a project come together, and a time-lapse video of a pool being built or even pool services from start to finish is very eye-catching and it's satisfying to watch. You can also post maintenance tips, create quick, helpful videos showing how to clean a pool filter or balance water, troubleshoot common issues. You're giving value while showing off your expertise. You can do water care advice, such as answering common questions that customers have, like how to prevent algae or how to keep your water crystal clear. And some people will say, you know, Lacey, if I'm a service guy, aren't I giving away my trade secrets? No, you're proving that you are a trusted, educated voice in your industry. And somebody's going to say, you know what, I want them. That's who I want in my backyard. And so you're not just posting for engagement, you're solving problems. And that will have people following you and keep following you because they know that you're going to continually add value to them. Now, this last one shows where you can find stories. Stories are great for staying connected to your existing followers. These are short 24-hour videos that keep your business at the top of their minds in real-time updates. These are good for behind-the-scenes content or really quick tips. After 24 hours, they're gone. Keep in mind that these are only pushed to your existing followers. So it's a really good place to maybe ask questions, do some polls, and share like a sale or a special. And when creating it, it's important to keep the following in mind with your content. Okay. High quality is greater than high quantity. And it's not about getting as many followers as possible. Sure, seeing a big number on your account feels really good. But what's even more valuable is having followers that could actually buy from you. So for example, would you rather have 10,000 followers and they're spread around multiple countries, or just 500 followers, but they're actually in your town and who are potential customers are interested in what you have to offer? If that's who you're looking for, you have to ask yourself who your ideal customer is. So think about this. What are your ideal customers already searching for online? What are their pain points? What problems do you solve for them? When you understand these things, you can create content that speaks directly to their needs. For example, pool owners might be searching for pool maintenance tips, or someone planning a renovation might be looking for backyard transformation ideas. Your job is to post content that addresses these needs and positions you as the solution to that problem. And there's something called the 3 E's of social media. The key is to great content. You want to utilize either one or all 3 of these E's at the same time. And that's engaging, educational, or entertaining. Ideally, you want a mix of all 3. While taking on the latest trending dance moves, Rudy, and there we go.
We don't have that one yet. We're working on it.
We lost her.
She's looking for she's looking for video.
That's what happens when you ask me about dance moves. You just get kicked out of the whole class, but she'll be back. Here we go. Brief intermission. That was Lacey. With that said, if you guys are interested in becoming a member of IPSA or our virtual IPSA chapter, please visit us at www.ipssa.com. That's ipsa.com. Back to Lacey.
Thanks, Rudy.
You're
So, the 3 E's. That's what I get for teasing you about dancing, I guess. That was instant karma.
That's what I said.
So you could do dance moves and dancing trends on the job site or even at the pool. It's very entertaining. But what most local businesses tend to lean towards is educating their followers. So again, pool maintenance tips, but keep in mind that people really do love stories. And this is that engaging E. So an example of this is showing maybe a before and after pool transformation that can really capture the attention and evoke an emotion. Telling that story can be a post in and of itself. Or you could share a customer success story where a homeowner talks about how you solved their problems. These stories build trust and also make your business much more relatable to the end user. So it's a very engaging for them. But the absolute most important rule when it comes to content creation, and sincerely, if you take nothing else from today, it's before posting content, every single time, ask yourself, why does my ideal customer care about this? This was a game changer for me. This is what took my content to 500,000 followers in 9 months. If you can't answer that for a post, then it's time to rethink the content. For example, somebody posting a Happy Easter post, nothing else to it, Happy Easter image. It's not as important to your audience as maybe Happy Easter. Here's an Easter egg hunt that you can play in the pool when you fill jumbo plastic Easter eggs with single serving alcohol bottles. You know, between the prizes and folks being in the pool in Easter, this is obviously clearly a very Florida party game, but that leads us into geo-targeting and hashtags. So I get a lot of questions about hashtags when we talk about social media. Hashtags are like signposts. They help people find your content, especially in their local area. You don't have to overcomplicate hashtags. I use a very simple 3x3x3+ method, which helps ensure you're targeting the correct audience. So what is a 3x3x3+? 3 hashtags for what's happening in the post, just 3. So these describe what's actually happening in your image or video. If you're showcasing a pool cleaning, you might use a hashtag like hashtag pool cleaning, or maybe hashtag pool installation, or let's say we're doing something for hashtag child safety. So 3 hashtags for what's actually happening in your video. Then you're going to use 3 hashtags for your target audience, or this is that ideal customer. This is where you think about who you want to see your posts. These hashtags could be like hashtag pool owner, hashtag backyard makeover, because that's what they're searching for, hashtag pool maintenance. What does your customer want? And to make sure that you're reaching the right people. Now, the 3+, third hashtag is your location. These help you reach local customers with geo-targeting. So you use hashtags like hashtag Florida pools, hashtag Dallas pool cleaning, hashtag Tampa pool service, and that gets you in front of people in the area. The reason there's the plus is if you're going to utilize some or even all 30 of the hashtags that you can have per post, so each post you have can have a maximum of 30 hashtags. If you're going to utilize more, I would much rather you use the location hashtags than any other type, so that you are getting into your local people in your area that can actually spend money on your business. So use your town, use your surrounding areas, or any area that you service in this way. It's a much slower growth, but it's a much higher quality of your followers. And believe it or not, how your followers interact with your post actually matters. So likes, if somebody likes your posts, these are the least important aspect when it comes to the algorithm. The algorithm is what determines how far of a reach your social post gets, or in other words, how many people it gets put in front of. The algorithm tests your content within a certain percentage of your follower count. So if your content does well, i.e. people are engaging with it, the algorithm then pushes it in front of a slightly wider audience. And this repeats over and over again until no one is really interacting with that post anymore. So the more you can create content that people want to like, they want to leave a comment on, they want to save this for reference to come back later, they want to share it with others, or it's a video and they watch it until the very end of that video, the wider that audience, the wider the audience that post will actually reach. But engagement isn't just about building trust. It's also kind of how you hack the algorithm to get your content seen by more people. And social media platforms really prioritize posts that get interaction. So the more you engage with your audience, the more visible that post becomes. The easiest hack I've ever had to boost the algorithm and what grew my stuff a lot faster, hands down, is every single comment is a chance to increase your engagement metrics. So when you reply to somebody that's left a comment on something you've posted, you're not just being polite, you're boosting your post in the algorithm because more interaction equals more visibility. So again, easiest hack of the algorithm is when someone comments on your post, find a way to ask them a question. Ideally open-ended so you can try to continue the dialogue, but something like they commented on a new pool build and you could say, oh, that's great. What's your dream pool look like? And they answer you, oh, it's awesome. What kind of decking were you thinking about going on with that? And so on. So these open-ended questions encourage longer responses, which the algorithm loves. But you've now turned one comment into a back and forth conversation in your comment section, which means more comments, more reach, hacking the algorithm to push your post out in front of more people. Creating content, this is what everybody really struggles with. And there's a lot of great creators out there. Gary Vee is a really popular speaker, and he says, just take out your iPhone, hit record, and go. Like, it's more important that you post something and get your name out there. The more you post, the more you're going to learn how to post and how to create and what works for you and find your voice. But it doesn't have to be super complicated, especially with the right tools. You can make the process much faster and easier and more effective than ever. I say these are mostly free tools because all of these have a free version and an upgraded paid version that you can buy, but the free versions are very helpful in their own rights. So the first one is Answer the Public. This tool is just a website and it helps you understand what people are actually searching for online. So they're going to have a search bar at top, and all you do is type in a couple keywords like pool maintenance, swimming pools, and it will show you the most common searched questions people are asking search engines like Google. So these are the number one questions being asked, and this helps your you can use this to create content that answers those exact questions. Your audience is going to find it super helpful, and it's going to boost your visibility in search. And you do get 3 free searches a day. Now, when I say you get 3 free searches, you can choose different things that you search, but it's going to populate 20, 30, 40, 50 actual questions that are being searched for each one of those searches. It's a very powerful tool for creating content because it tells you exactly what people are looking for in your industry. Another tool is you can use AI, artificial intelligence tools like ChatGPT. These are really great when you need to come up with ideas, or maybe you need help writing captions. Tools like ChatGPT are perfect for brainstorming and researching and drafting content. You can quickly generate ideas for posts, blog topics, and even answer customer questions that maybe you're not 100% sure on. But you want to make sure that you read and edit your response, because a lot of AI tools can seem like they've been day drinking from time to time, and your audience also really wants to connect with a person. So most people these days can tell if you're using a robot to write for you. So really use it to spark those ideas and not just have it create content that you copy and paste on your social media. Canva for content creation. Canva is a really great go-to tool for designing posts. Even if you have zero design background, you have zero design capabilities, and that's because they have countless templates for easy branding, plug and play. It's super, super user-friendly, and your posts end up looking more consistent and professional, and you can whip up a branded post in minutes. Again, no design skills necessary. In fact, that's what this presentation was used Canva to create it. It was very quickly. I pulled this together in about an hour today. Very fast and easy and customer friendly. Lastly, customer testimonials. Do not overlook the power of your happy customers. Collect positive reviews, whether they're in written format or whether you get somebody who's willing to be on camera for you. They do exist. There are people who love the spotlight. Collect them and turn them into an engaging social post. Share a testimonial alongside of a photo of that new pool that they had, or maybe a service that you provided. Like, take a picture of that yucky, green, slimy, whatever that they called you over to fix, and then have their review right after that too. It builds credibility and trust with your future customers. So for most of us in the industry, our social media needs to be our portfolio of work, and reviews really help tell that story. And that's a lot of what I wanted to cover, but let's talk about what you can start doing right away. I want to challenge everybody to try to implement 1 to 3 tactics from today within the next week. You know, the last thing I want is for you guys to leave a presentation and not have a takeaway from it. So this could be posting your first reel to showcase maybe a pool installation or a service, trying out a 3x3x3 plus hashtag method to target your right audience and increase your local reach, engaging more with your followers. Ask those open-ended questions in the comments, get in and explore one of those mostly free tools and just play around with it. But the goal here is to take action. You know, put it into practice. Every small step is going to lead to a big result if you stay consistent and keep trying to learn and build upon your knowledge. And the only way you're going to do that is by trying new things and testing and adjust to see what works for you. I would love to hear from you guys what questions you might have, whether it's about content creation, hashtags, growing your audience. I'm happy to clarify anything, but I also want to state that social media is ever evolving, and I'm still learning new things on a daily basis. But if you have a question that I don't know the answer to, I will be your resource and I will find the answer for it.
We have a couple of questions in the chat, just starting with that. First, Ipsa out of Tucson is asking, what do you think about Adobe Express versus Canva?
So I will tell you straight up that I have zero design background. I was a fine arts major at one point in time, but that's with charcoal. Computers get me really stuck. I have a rep on my team who absolutely loves Adobe Express. He will use it and make edits to things that I couldn't dream of, but I've never touched Adobe. It scares me to death. I like Canva because I can drag and drop and plug and play and be done really quick without skill sets. I would have to take a course in order to understand Adobe, but from what I hear, it's much more powerful tool.
Samantha Teagues out of Houston says, took so many screenshots, exclamation point. I think just passing that on. And then we have Lee Salisbury out of Lee. I don't remember what town you're in, but I know she's in Australia and on the right side if you're facing the continent that way. And she asks, and oddly enough, a question from Australia, do boomerang / bounce, see boomerang, get it? Do boomerang / bounce images, videos rate as videos or static posts?
Oh, that's a good one. It depends. You can post a boomerang as a static post. Instagram will let you. So when you're creating your post and you hit the plus at the bottom of Instagram or at the top of their circle to create something, you can choose post or reel. Boomerangs are items that you do have a say in. It could be one or the other. I would suggest anytime you have the opportunity, you would either post it as a reel so that it does push out to a wider audience. If you're going to use a boomerang as a static post, use it as a carousel. A carousel is when you have multiple static posts and you kind of have to slide through them one at a time. The algorithm really likes when you use individual posts, carousels, and reels. The more that people are really utilizing all three. Last year and probably about 3 years prior into that window, they were really prioritizing creators that were using most, if not all, video, and they've moved away from that in the last year. They want creators using all three of them.
That's what we have
See,
for
I got
the chat.
Question for you.
Go ahead, David.
So here's what I'd like to do. We have here. I've been doing this over 50 years. Got a fairly large company. So my question is, I don't have time to do any of this on social media or have been a priority for me, but I know a lot of the newer companies and a lot of the companies that are small to mid-size, and even some of the big ones do. What are we looking at as far as a company to outsource our social media presence, and how, and what would be maybe a cost? I know it's a pretty big open-ended question, and I realize that, but here's somebody that says, you know what, Lacey, you're the bomb. I want you to take care of my social media presence and input and all of that. What does that look like? As I give a lot of seminars on business development, and I want to incorporate that in, but when I started, there was no social media. I was back in the dinosaur days. And so with the things that are available out there, but in doing so, want to give cost, we just or what that might look like. And I know that's a lot to unpack, but I'm just looking for the Reader's Digest version.
Absolutely. No, it's a solid question, and one that you're absolutely right. It's definitely a widespread answer too. So you can do as much like generic marketing. You can have a baby budget and you can do sky to the moon. There's no limit. Some tricks for getting social media when you truly don't have time, or maybe you're like, man, this feels like a lot to learn. I don't really want to take that on. You can do a lot of different, very frugal options. There's websites like Fiverr where you can hire out somebody who's going to make you a few posts. You give them a little bit of information on your business. They're going to go to Canva. They're honestly going to use ChatGPT to take what you put, and really they're going to do that initial legwork for you of putting your information into ChatGPT, going to Answer the Public, put those answers in, and then going to Canva and creating you maybe a branded idea of a few posts. That's very inexpensive. You could hire somebody to do several posts for anywhere from $10 to $100 very easily. You could, if you wanted to take that up a step, hire an intern, especially if you have a college town anywhere near your business. Even more so, you can hire interns or fresh out of college social media strategists or social media specialists. Remote, you can post that job on Indeed. Very little, you can say it's a beginner gig, and you can, if it's an internship, maybe you pay them $250 for the semester. So you get 3 or 4 months of somebody actively creating social media for you, because the reason you don't pay them a true salary or a true wage is because they're doing this for school credit. They have to do it to finish their degree. And by offering them a stipend, it's a nice way to get more qualified folks to do the work for you. You could hire a new content creator in-house, and then you would pay either your state's minimum wage or something a little higher than that based on where you're comfortable with your profitability. But there are folks who, in this day and age, that's what they want to do. They truly want to spend their careers creating fun, beautiful, branded content for businesses. That's their dream job. So there's good and bad in that, right? There's a large pool of those people. And the bad for them is because there's a large pool of those people, they're willing to do it for less starting out just to get their feet wet, to get their resume going. So you could post on Indeed, you could your local universities and colleges and say, is there an opportunity to have an internship, a social media specialist, somebody to, I'm willing to pay for a stipend. You can even ask them, what's a normal stipend for you? And I'm giving you this, and I'm telling you this as a marketing company that people hire us to do their marketing for them. that gets pricey, that gets expensive. You could do, I think our very base level for doing this for somebody, it starts around $500 a month, which isn't bad. But that's a very base level, right? So you can just continue to go up from there. There are companies that will have entire teams of social media because they want somebody to go out onto their job site and take those videos for them. They want somebody to run the drone and do the whole time lapse around from the bird's eye view. There's some companies that spend a lot of money on their social media, and you can tell when you look at them, right? But that's not required by any stretch of the imagination. Does any of that help, or is there
Yeah,
something
no,
I
I
can elaborate
appreciate
on?
all of that, and you're, I'm asking as a baseline guy with nothing.
Mhm.
Frankly, I always tell people that you want people to hire you because you're the professional. Not that there's anything wrong. My daughter's a big blogger and social media whiz, but that never works out well. So I applaud her efforts. I don't want to get into a business relationship with my daughter, but it's important for me. I have a fairly large company, so I'm trying to figure out, if I decide on a budget, you gave me some
Mhm.
good numbers to work with, and I think at this point in my life, I would rather go with someone professional like you, as
Mhm.
opposed to maybe somebody starting out on a budget-minded, situation there. So yeah, that
Mhm.
helps me a lot. I appreciate all of that. Thank you.
Good. You're
Lacey,
welcome.
Lacey, what are some things to consider when A/B testing for social media content, especially across different platforms?
Oh no, that's a great one. So A/B testing, for those who don't know, is when you try something similar, the same kind of content, but maybe you do a little different, right? So for me, some A/B testing I've done is I've done the exact same video, no difference in it, but I've changed the words on the screen. So one way you could do this is what's in social media called a hook. A hook is what stops somebody from scrolling. Let's say you're on your phone and you're scrolling your social media. What happens on that screen that stops you and makes you go, oh, what's that? Right? So you could do a text hook, which is maybe if you're trying to grow your pool business, you need to know this. Oh, I'm trying to grow my pool business. I need to know this. Let me stop and watch. Or is it a visual hook where, oh my gosh, it looks like that person is out to get ready, hit by a car, and then it's just a trick of the eye and the car drives through them, if you guys have seen that one. But A/B testing with social media, I would recommend doing it often because the more you test, the more you're going to learn. And a lot of folks don't really get into their analytics, but if you choose to have a business Instagram, a business Facebook, you can dive into your post analytics. You can see the reach. You can see how many people saved it. You can see how many people not just liked and comment, but you can see all these other facets that you can't see from just a regular person's profile, right? Instead of a business profile. So if you dive into your analytics and you do A/B testing, okay, I did my visual hook here, I did my text on screen here, which one did better? Oh, wow, that text on screen, that hook worked really good. Well, maybe next time you say, I'm going to use the same hook for this different video, but I'm going to use a different hook, same video, different hook. And you just keep testing and playing, and you find what your ideal customer, what your ideal audience really likes. And bonus tip, when something hits, when something on your page does really, really, really well, lean into that. Post more of that kind of content. Post more of that hook. Post more of what that value added proposition that got their attention to begin with. It could be something as a trending sound. So for example, that video in my presentation that got the 2.4 million views, I didn't create that video. I took one of the manufacturers that I represent. That's a video on their social media. The only thing I did differently was I added different hashtags. I used a different caption with SEO generated to target my audience. SEO is search engine optimization. So those are the words that people are searching in search bars. And I used a trending sound. Trending sound is not as hard to find as most people think. Scroll for fun. See what sound you hear 2 or 3 or 4 times while you're scrolling. That sounds trending. That's the one you hop on. And that video got 2.4 million, where the one originally posted on my manufacturer's website got 2,000. So that's an example of A/B testing the exact same video, but using a different sound, using different hashtags, using different caption. Same video, two very different results.
Awesome. IPSA out of Tucson asks, when trying to grow a chapter of IPSA, what is a good way to identify that serviceman demographic who could benefit from being a member?
Use ChatGPT for one and ask that question and see what it gives you. And the reason I say that is because when you ask ChatGPT something like this, ask it to ask you all the questions it needs to be able to give you a good response. Because it's going to say things like, well, is this online? Is this local? Where's your area? How do you, it's going to ask you these questions. And by going through that rigmarole, kind of going through that process, it's going to tune your brain to, oh, this is how I need to think. This is how I need to present. And then you can say, when it spits out its answers based on the answers you give to those questions, you can say, great, can you create content topics? Give me 50 content topics to reach that ideal audience so that I can start putting out blogs, newsletters, social posts. What are their pain points? How do I find them? How do I tell them that this adds value to them? And then it's going to continue to have that conversation, that dialogue for you, so that you're going to get those answers to those questions. We could sit here and I mean, I'd be happy to pull up ChatGPT and do that on screen if anybody wants that. But that's also something that ChatGPT is free, and you guys can use that as well. And just, it's kind of fun to play with too. It's kind of fun to see what it comes up with.
That is all the questions we have in the chat. Anybody else in the group have questions here for Lacey while we have her? Remember, the only dumb question is the one that you don't ask before she leaves. No?
Well,
That's
the good
not
news
true.
is my contact information is there. That's my cell phone number. You can call me
That's
or
what I
text
was-
me anytime. And my email's there as well if anybody comes up with questions down the line.
That's what I was going to say. If you do need to get a hold of her, she is easy to get a hold of. Actually, IPSA in Tucson wants you to pull up ChatGPT.
Let's do it. All right,
There
I'm
you
going to
go.
stop sharing. I'll pull it up. You guys are going to love this. Right, 1 second.
You're getting lots of love in the chat at the moment.
Yay! Yay! Let me pull it. Where's my Zoom so I can find share screen? Okay, here we go. All right, y'all. So this is what ChatGPT looks like. It's very easy, a search bar. So what was our question on IPSA? On when trying to grow. Okay, I've got it. I've got it.
Okay, perfect.
So I'm not going to, I could fiddle with this, but I'm not going to. I'm going to put that exact question from our chat right into ChatGPT. When trying to grow a chapter of IPSA, and I'm just going to tell it, which is a swimming pool association geared towards educating businesses in the pool and spa industry. ChatGPT, it's only as good as the information you give it. If you give it a little information, it doesn't have a lot to go on. So don't be afraid to get really specific with it. What is a good way to identify that serviceman demographic who can benefit from being a member? Here's the key to getting the most out of ChatGPT. Feel free to ask me any questions you may need to best answer my question. Then we just let it go. Let's see what she pops out. To identify the serviceman demographic who could benefit from being a member of IPSA, here are a few strategies to consider. Analyze local pool industry data, target smaller independent pool service companies, network with pool supply distributors, focus on longevity and licensing. That says targeting businesses in need of help with certification or ongoing training to maintain a license is effective. Those newer to the industry may need to be looking for educational support. Utilize social media, thank you, and trade forums. And it says, does this align with your goals? Let me know if you'd like to dive in deeper. So from here, we could do something like, this is great. I'm always kind to ChatGPT. You never know if the robots are going to take over the world. I saw Terminator. So this is great. Please create 50 ideas for social media content posts to target this audience using their pain points that IPSA can solve for. And again, I'm not giving it a ton of information, so the more that you use, the easier it will be for chat to give you something you can truly use. There you go. Educational certificate. Stay ahead with certifications if IPSA can provide anything like that. You could also say stay ahead of the game with higher education. Learn from the pros. You promote IPSA's upcoming classes. Is your business ready for the next pool season? Avoid costly mistakes. Boost your skill set with IPSA. You can do business growth. Grow your client list. Is your business scaling properly? Membership benefits that drive success. Double your clients' proven methods. Navigate through times without IPSA. Are you running your business solo? Highlight the value of community and networking. Pool industry insights from the best. And the list just goes on and on. Insurance risk mitigation, tools and technology. You can just drive and drive this. And the good news is ChatGPT works for free. And you can just run it until you're tired. What else? We can keep playing with this if you guys want. There's a lot of great information here.
Other questions for Lacey? Okay. Everybody, join me in thanking Lacey Davis for taking us through this session with her, social media marketing. She's with the Grit Game. Lacey, again, tell folks how to get a hold of you.
You can call me or text me or email me. I'm also available through Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. My company is The Grit Game. I do run our social media on top of everything else. So if you ever comment on one of your posts, just say, hey, I need you to contact me. I was in the IPSA class. I'll be like, I got you. I'm here. I will find you. I promise. Sometimes it's easier for me to find you.
Awesome. For those of you, again, that are enjoying these IPSA meetings online and want to help to support the cause, please go to ipsa.com. It's IPSSA.com. And find membership information there. You can join the virtual chapter, or if you're in an area that the virtual chapter does not reach, you can join your local chapter of IPSA and still come and sit in the virtual classes with me if you like as well, because we're going to stay open to everybody for as long as we're doing this. And again, for those members that do join the virtual group, we do have bonus content through currently through Buffer Zone out of Australia. I believe Peter's on with us right now. As far as pool service software, we're doing free pool service software for the first 20 people that join this virtual group. So with that said, I bring this meeting to a close. Again, Lacey, thank you. Everyone, thank you for joining us. I hope to see you the third Wednesday of next month as well.
Bye, guys. Thanks.